Now we are going to discuss about the equilibrium of a body about to move down along an incline. Now, same diagram, F acting along an angle alpha, so F cos alpha, F sin alpha, two components of mg are mg cos theta, angle of inclination is theta, this is mg sin theta. Now in this case a force F is applied to prevent the moving of the body in the downward direction, that is to keep the body in equilibrium. In the previous video we discussed about a force that was taking the body in the upward direction, that means the body was just about to move in the upward direction. Now this force F is a force which is preventing the falling of the body downwards. So we have written here equilibrium of a body about to move down along inclined plane. The tendency of the body here is to move down, whereas in the previous case by applying the force F, the tendency of the body was to move in the upward direction. Here the tendency is to fall in the downward direction. So if the tendency of the body is to fall downwards, so the frictional force here will act in the upward direction, not in the downward direction. The direction of frictional force changes here. So we can write the two equations as F plus F cos alpha, F plus F cos alpha is equal to, the mg sin theta. This is the first equation, and R plus F sin alpha is equal to mg cos theta. R plus, so this is the direction of R plus F sin alpha is equal to mg cos theta. This is the second equation. So after doing one or two steps and bringing the value of F, you replace F by mu R. Replace F as mu R and the value of R from here into the first equation. We get the value of F as mg into sin theta minus mu cos theta by cos alpha minus mu sin alpha. This is the expression of F. Now, as we had done in the previous video, replace mu by tan lambda, that is the angle of friction. Cos alpha minus tan lambda sin alpha. So mg, if we can write the expression like this, sine of theta minus lambda by cos of theta plus lambda. So for given values of theta and alpha, F will be minimum. So for F to be minimum, cos of theta plus lambda to be maximum. So cos of theta plus lambda to be maximum means is equal to 1, or rather cos of 0 degree. So theta, so alpha, here it will be alpha plus theta, Now here it will be alpha plus lambda, So alpha plus lambda is equal to maximum 1 cos 0, okay. So alpha plus lambda is equal to 0. So alpha is equal to minus lambda. So F minimum becomes, what is F minimum now? From this expression of F minimum means mg sine of theta minus lambda. The denominator is 1. This is the value of F minimum. Now we will try to write, learn to write the equations of a body accelerating on an inclined plane. Now suppose this is an inclined plane, angle of inclination is theta. This is R, this is mg cos theta, this is mg sin theta. The body tendency is to move downwards, so the frictional force will act in the opposite direction, that is mu R, also equal to mu mg cos theta. So the acceleration of the body will be in the downward direction. Now what will the value of mg? So mg sin theta, if the body falls, that means the value of mg sin theta is more than the value of mu mg cos theta. the downward force is more than the upward resisting force, or rather we can say that this angle theta is more than the repose angle. If this angle theta is more than the repose angle, then it will come into fact that mg sin theta will also be greater than mu mg cos theta. So the resultant force acting downwards will be this one, mg sin theta minus mu mg cos theta. We equate this with ma, because this resultant force is the force which will develop acceleration in the body. So eliminating mu from this equation, and writing the expression of taking g common, g sin theta minus mu cos theta. So this is the expression of acceleration of a body trying to fall downwards or falling downwards. Now in this case, I have drawn the diagram of a body which is forced to move upwards by an external force F. This is the force F which is helping the body to move in the upward direction. Now if we apply a force F in the upward direction and the body is moving with an acceleration, we have to find the value of this acceleration. Now how do we find it? If we are trying to pull the body in the upward direction, the force of friction will act in the opposite direction, that means in the downward direction, like this. So this F must be mg sin greater than the values of these two forces for the body to be moving upwards with an acceleration. So F minus mg sin theta plus F. This amount of force is acting in the downward direction. So the value of F must be greater than these two forces so that the body can move upwards with an acceleration. So the value of A here, we can write A as F by M minus mg sin theta plus mu mg cos theta by M. So F by M minus g sin theta plus mu cos theta. Now the last part of this chapter of friction is rolling friction. Now what is rolling friction? As I stated, it is always smaller than the sliding friction. We all know that a wheel rotates on the ground. Now the point of contact of the wheel, just the point of contact of the wheel, theoretically the rolling friction for a rolling wheel, the frictional force must be zero, because there is no relative motion between this point of contact and the ground. There is no relative motion between the point of contact and the ground. For rolling friction to be zero, theoretically the rolling friction must be zero. Now that condition of theory is that the bodies in contact with each other must be very rigid. Now if the bodies in contact are rigid, then the frictional force, or rather the rolling friction value, should be zero, as there is no relative motion between the two bodies. But in practice, when we get in the practical scenario, in the practical arena, we find that when a wheel rolls on the surface, its motion gets obstructed. Now the part of the wheel gets into the soil and some part of the soil comes out like this, like a small inundation. So when a wheel rolls on the surface, its motion gets obstructed due to the deformation of the wheel. This is the deformation of the wheel. The wheel should be like this, but the wheel becomes slightly deflated here. This is due to the deformation of the wheel or the surface, or both at the point of contact or at the plane of contact. Now in real life, usually the tire and the ground are not perfectly rigid and both gets deformed due to some extent. Now such deformation is very easily noticeable when a road roller or a very heavy vehicle rolls over soft ground. At the point of contact of the wheel and the ground, an indentation is created on the surface. This is the indentation. Now this spelling is indentation. Indentation is created here on the surface due to the weight of the wheel. The vehicle is very heavy. The ground just in the front of the wheel just swells up. This is the swelling part. Now I have tried to draw a small part of this indentation here. This is the indentation part. Now the weight of the wheel acts, or rather the mg acts downwards. The distance of this point of contact of the indentation with the radius vector is, suppose, A. Now we need a constant force P for the wheel to be in motion, because if you don't apply a force, this indentation will slowly slow down the vehicle, and the vehicle will stop in a very small distance, within a very small distance. Now this force is required to maintain the uniform motion. This force is required to maintain uniform motion. Now the reaction force from this indentation will be acting in this direction. Suppose name it as R. Now angle here we can call it as phi. So if we try and write the relations, like what is the value of sine alpha, sine phi. Sine phi becomes, this is A, this is the radius of the wheel, that is R. So A by R, perpendicular by hypotenuse. So rolling resistance, if you can call it like this, rolling resistance F is equal to P is equal to N sine phi is equal to N into A by R. Now F is equal to P, the frictional force will act in the opposite direction to P. So F is equal to P. Now what was P? If this is this was N, or rather sorry, it is R, not N. R sine phi. So R sine phi means this is R. We can draw the components of this R. This is phi, this is phi. So this is R cos phi, and this is R sine phi. So P is acting in the opposite direction to this R sine phi. So P is equal to R sine phi. Now sine phi we have already measured as A by R. So replacing value of A by R, we get the resistance as R into A by R. Now this distance A is called the coefficient of, what is this A? This is known as the coefficient of rolling friction.